To order. We will begin with our invocation. Teresa Leeming is here. If you would all please rise and proceed when you are ready.
Heavenly Father, I ask you to bless our commissioners with favor and grace, wisdom and insight. Lead and guide them in the way they should go to make Clay County, Missouri a great place to live, learn, work, and play. Strengthen them as they lead with vision and virtue. I thank you for all your provisions. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Nolte?
Here.
Commissioner Withington? Here. Commissioner Lawson? Here. Commissioner Wagner?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Here.
Next on our agenda is approval of this evening's agenda. With that, Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion has been made for the approval of this evening's agenda. Any discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Withington?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
That brings us to public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to make a comment? Please come forward, address them to the commission, and make sure the green light is on and state your name and then proceed. Seeing none. That brings us to our consent agenda. Administrator?
The consent agenda allows the Commission to act upon items considered to be routine and approved in one motion. These may include items that have been reviewed by the Commission in a prior session. There will be no separate discussion unless the Commissioner requests that an item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. There are 6 items on the consent agenda this evening. The first item is approval of the Commission meeting minutes from April 10th and April 17th. Resolution 2025-137 is approving invoice payments for Clay County from the period of April 12th through April 18th. There are 459 invoices totaling $840,939.79. Resolution 2025-136 is approving the request for the use of county grounds for the annual Art on the Side for Liberty Art Festival. Resolution 2025-139, approving the municipal patrol agreement with Missouri City for the Sheriff's Department. Resolution 2025-140 is approving the municipal patrol agreement with Holt for the Sheriff's Office. And Resolution 2024-142 is approving the marketing matching grant application for fiscal year 26 with the Missouri Division of Tourism.
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Motion has been made for the approval of this evening's agenda. Consent agenda. Any discussion? Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Withington?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next is our regular agenda. First item on our regular agenda is 2025-138. Administrator.
Resolution 2025-138 is approving invoice payments for the Clay County Prosecutor's Office for the period of April 12th through April 18th. There are 7 invoices totaling $4,884.37.
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve 2025-138.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2025-138. For the discussion. Seeing none, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
I recuse myself.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Withington?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner?
Aye.
Motion passes 5 in favor, 1 recusal.
Our next item is 2025-141. Administrator.
Resolution 2025-141 is approving the proposal for deck repairs on the Northeast 140th Street Bridge over Clear Creek with Decker Construction, and Director Degenhardt is here to provide information to the Commission.
Please proceed.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tom Degenhardt, Road and Bridge Director. The resolution before you is for deck repairs for the Northeast 140th Street Bridge over Clear Creek with Decker Construction. The bridge is located approximately 1.5 miles southeast of 92 Highway and Jesse James Farm Road intersection. It is on the Federal Registry. The bridge was built in 1970. It's a three-span steel stringer with a reinforced concrete deck, 190 feet long, 24 feet wide roadway, 16-ton weight limit, 184 AADT, which is annual average daily traffic. It has a sufficiency rating of 51.7 out of 100, and the detour length that the bridge was closed would be 4.96 miles. We did what's called a Bridge Engineering Assistance Program, a BEAP study, where it's a service provided by MoDOT where they can evaluate our bridges with no cost to the county. That BEAP study found the concrete deck was in poor to fair condition, a number of asphalt patches, some reinforcing steel exposed, and other minor substructure issues. And you can see from the photo, some joints have failed. That BEAP study indicated that if we were to completely replace that bridge, it'd be about $2 million. A complete rehabilitation, which would be leaving the steel stringers in place and just removing the top decks, $809,000, or just for deck repairs would be $115,000. So the proposed work includes, you can see on the diagram, there's some square boxes, four red square boxes, which are the 525 feet of half-depth Portland concrete cement patching, 48 feet of joint header reconstruction, 48 feet of cell foam joint sealant, and multi-layer epoxy polymer over the entire deck. So we utilized our term and supply contract for infrastructure improvements that was approved by this commission back in January of this year. We reached out to all three approved vendors, Decker Construction Services, Mega KC Corporation, and She Digs It. She Digs It did not respond. Mega bid was $189,175, and the low bidder and best bidder was Decker Construction Services at $133,035 and 80. If approved tonight, the contractor could start the second week of June, and the construction would last approximately 10 to 12 weeks. One lane will remain open the entire time with adequate traffic control. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Johnson.
Move to approve 2025-141.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2025-141. Discussion, Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Just a brief question, Tom, and thanks for your presentation.
Sure.
As your presentation mentioned, we expect a detour distance of almost 5 miles. I was just curious, what is the potential location of where they will be detoured to?
That's a good question. I would assume they would continue down Jesse James Road to 69 Highway.
Okay.
And go around that way.
Okay.
Stillhouse.
Great.
But as part of this improvement, we will not need that detour.
I got it.
So the bridge will stay open one lane only. I threw that out there in case this bridge ever had to be closed. That would be the inconvenience.
That's how they would go. I was just curious if that change in traffic may impact another route, primarily causing damage. But if it's going to 69, then I'm not too worried about traffic going on to that. So perfect. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Commissioner Johnson, you are recognized to close.
I close.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Withington?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner?
Hi.
Motion passes 6-0.
Next item on our regular agenda is 2025-144. Administrator?
Resolution 2025-144 is the appointment of Damon Hodges as County Administrator and Chief Budget Officer and approved attached contract. Damon is in the audience this evening, which I believe he also brought some friends and family with him. So I certainly want to express my congratulations to Damon, and I'm sure the Commission wants to hear from him. He's ready to come speak.
Very good. Did you, Mr. Counselor, did you have anything, because it has your name on it here, did you want to present anything before I recognize for a motion?
No, I appreciate that, Commissioner. Mr. Hodges and I have worked on this over the last several weeks at the direction of the Commission. I feel like the contract is ready to go. Certainly recommend approval tonight, and I feel like it's a good contract for both sides.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Withington.
Yeah, I've been able to get to know Damon the last several weeks, months, and I'm really excited to have him on. And so I want to go ahead and make a motion that we approve 2025-144 And we're gonna have to work with facilities to adjust the lighting for the reflections, so.
Motion has been made for the approval of 2025-144. Commissioner Lawson, I believe you're next.
The only thing, I'd like to welcome you, Damon, and I look forward to working with you very much. This is going to be a new experience. We've worked with Diana. She's been wonderful, a very highly intelligent lady. And now we're going to have a great guy working with us as well. So welcome, and I do anything in the world to help you anytime, and right behind you. So welcome to Clay County. I know you live here, but now welcome to our wonderful courthouse.
Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. So this will be my second time working with you, Damon, first in Kansas City and now here. And so you know my sense of humor, so let me give you my congratulations and my condolences. You will require both, I think, during your tenure here. But I have to say, I've been holding this story for a long time, and I have expressed to my colleagues my confidence in you. I know how great a job you'll do. But I'm going to tell this story, and you'll remember this. No one else will know what I'm talking about, but you will. So it happens a lot, and get used to it. My first experience, I think, with you was on Beacon Hill. And that project, for those who care to look, was a basket case because it was in federal receivership, and we had to work our way out of it. And a lot of the public works related work was done by you. And I will never forget a discussion of how do you slow down the traffic along Troost. And I'll never forget you saying, well, here's what you do. You put together these dividers and we can make them very decorative, and it's going to be so much concrete, it's going to slow the cars down. And actually, if you go there today on Hospital Hill, you will still see them, and I'm reminded of them, of you, every time I drive by there. But it was, so your family, I don't know if you want him to be known for dividers on Troost, but that's what I got. Yeah, that's what but that's their problem. But anyway, it told me that here's a guy who can think creatively, and he can figure out ways to get out of things and get out of messes and bring enhancements to a discussion. And when I saw that you were coming and applying for this, and as we've had our discussions with you, and even today, I think about the way you were thinking back then. And so I am extremely excited to have you here. I hope to be reasons why we have congratulations, and I'm hoping I do not bring reasons for condolences your way. But I am excited that you're here, and I look forward to working with you, and congratulations, sir.
By the way, we all hold our breaths when Commissioner Wagner says, I have a story to tell about somebody. So, yeah, if you felt a little intake of air and holding it, welcome to the club. Commissioner Johnson.
First of all, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm assuming this is going to pass tonight. So, so congratulations and welcome. I know you went through the ringer to get here. And for those of you who don't know, we did a nationwide search. We hired an executive search firm to come in and do a nationwide search to fill this position. And you rose to the top. There was a lot of people that applied, but we actually when we invited you back for an interview, we were so impressed. And so congratulations. What was more exciting to me is you're local. You are part of Clay County. You're the only candidate that was actually part of Clay County, from what I understand. So congratulations. But I know you went through quite a bit, a lot of interviews, a lot of video interviews that we watched, a lot of resume stuff, a lot of writing, and then to sit in front of all 7 of us for that final interview, and saw the beads of sweat showing, which means you care. But I'll tell you, you're coming to a good place, and I want to welcome you, but I also want to welcome your family, because it's about family here, and you're coming to a good place to work, and it's not a good place by mistake. And I'll tell you, this lady sitting right next to you took us through quite a bit over the last several years. It's been a lot of change, and you know some of the changes because you've lived here in this county, but a lot of changes took place in this county over the last several years, and she did an outstanding job of getting us here. And you've got some big shoes to fill, but I think you're going to be happy. I think you're going to like it here. I think your family's going to like you here as well. But congratulations, you did a great job through the process. I really look forward to working with you, and I'm excited for you. It's an exciting time in your life and your family's life. It's just a neat time, and a lot of good things happening. So congratulations and welcome to Clay County.
Commissioner Carpenter.
Yeah, I just want to say, really thrilled to have you coming on board, Damon, and I know it's going to be a wonderful road ahead for you and for your family and loved ones, and for us on the commission and the whole county. You know, you've proven yourself as a talented leader over the course of years, you know, down in Raytown, and I know you love your community and want to make it better. And I think we're extraordinarily lucky to have you, and also agree with Commissioner Johnson. We've been really lucky to have Administrator Diana Wright as well, and grateful to the both of you for you know, committing your life to trying to make your community a better place. So thanks to both of you.
Any other? Did you want to say anything? Go right ahead, Commissioner.
So we'll get this started right now. I'm the quiet commissioner, so you don't typically hear from me unless I really got something to say, but I will say today that I am very excited to have you here and joining our team in Clay County and having such a good, strong servant's heart, because I know we all do. Anybody who walks in this door, we try to gravitate to them and make Clay County a better place, and I know you're going to fit in just great. You're going to have a lot of fun with us. And I promise I'll be good. I promise. I'll be the quiet one over here. But you got some pretty big shoes to fill, but I have confidence we're going to get it done, and we're going to work together, and we're going to have a great time here in Clay County. So, thanks.
Thank you. Just had to pull you out of the shadows and into the spotlight. We did not know each other before this process started. It's been a pleasure to get to know you a little bit over just this, brief time that we've been going through the actual interviewing process. My support for you was not based on the fact that we were acquainted. It was on the basis of your resume and your record of accomplishment. I was looking upon you as a professional who would be a really great fit for the county, and that was mainly the basis of where I was coming from. However, I do look forward, as we go forward, becoming more, having more of a personal relationship. I think that's going to be something that is really important. We are going to have to work together, particularly as presiding commissioner. I'll be depending upon you. I have depended very greatly on Diana and her advice, and there are some issues within our Constitution that require me to ask the advice of the administrator. I've come to the conclusion that passage in our Constitution is not necessary. As is proven to be the case with Diana, and I'm sure it would prove to be the case with you, I would be a fool if I did not come to you for advice and to reflect what my thoughts were and to get your counsel on how I should perform the duties of my office. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Diana has set a real standard for excellence in this county as far as the administrative process. I have every confidence that you will follow in that tradition and continue that. It is so very important, as we've seen in other posts and other offices, that if we can have a string of people who occupy those positions who are expressing that excellence and that professionalism, it really makes a huge difference. And so I am very much looking forward to our time together, working together, getting to know you and your family better, and hopefully we will be doing some great things for this county, because I think we have a lot of great things out there ahead of us. The potential for Clay County is through the roof as far as I'm concerned, and I'm excited to have you on the team and as part of that effort to make us able to reach those heights which we are, I think, aspiring to be. If there are no further comments, I will go ahead. Well, I was going to go ahead and have the vote and then go ahead. So we'll have the vote, and then I'd like to get a few comments from you, and then we will, because I think I share your confidence in the outcome of the vote, yeah. Commissioner. But I wanted to make sure that we kind of had it official and then put you forward. So I'm going to go to Commissioner Withington for his closing remarks. I'll go to you for some remarks, and then we will stand at ease and get some photos and just kind of congratulate you a little bit, and then we will continue with our agenda. So with that, Commissioner Withington, you are recognized to close.
I close, and I'm excited to have you join us.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Withington?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Carpenter?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
And by the way, I do not vote except in cases of a tie and in certain circumstances. Don't take that as any kind of lack of confidence.
I did not.
But please, if you would like to make a couple of remarks and kind of give us a flavor of how you see us going forward, and then we will stand at ease and get some photos or whatever you'd like to do.
Commissioner, if I may interrupt for just a second.
Yes.
I do think you vote on the appointment of the county administrator. Yes.
Supermajority, yeah.
Did we?
You do vote on this.
I think you,
His appointment, you vote.
But on this last vote, I wasn't called on the roll.
well, you should be.
Well, I
Let's do that.
apologize. Please do call my name.
Commissioner Nolte?
Well, let me think about this for a moment. Yes, I'm just so used to I'm used to voting on the executive session on these things, but
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. So I take back what I said.
That's okay. Well, unanimous is awesome. First of all, though, I do want to introduce some of my family. My wife here of 25 years. Next Tuesday would be 25 years. 25 years together. We both moved here, and I had hair at the time when I moved here. Well, partially. Along with my mother, my aunt, my father-in-law, all my friends, my son back there, friends here, other colleagues, my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, my great-nephew, my dad back there, and my sister's back there. So when you come with Damon Hodges, you come with a lot. But that shows about community. That's where I learned community from. And that's where I learned about public service from. That's where I learned the streets that Councilman Wagner mentioned. I actually driven those several times in my life, or either took the bus to go visit my mom or something in downtown Kansas City. So those type of things are what you're receiving in me. I think out the box because I started as a design engineer in 1999 in public service, reviewed the plans, reviewed the subdivision where I actually lived at and now currently live at, and to a point now to where I'm here to help lead Clay County and move forward. I thank Diana and Kevin for their professionalism in this process, and along with you all for your professionalism in this process. But to say that I'm the only Clay County person that applied, I mean, that was me to be here. Say that you had a national search to find a person right here, you did it right. And I'm here to help lead the staff. I look forward to working with you all. I look forward to being a leader and working beside you. I'm done all the way up. I've been in everything you could think of and when it comes to public works and public service. And that's what I committed to. 20 plus years of my life has been committed to public service. And 23 of my years of my life has been here in Clay County. So from my standpoint, I've seen the growth here in Clay County. When I moved here, Walmart wasn't a super Walmart, wasn't a Target, and wasn't a few other places. Lowe's wasn't there. So I've seen the growth. And as I mentioned to you in my interview, it's a place here, this county is a place where I think about my 3 children. I got one that I think will be in the urban core. She likes to have apartment, maybe apartment type living. I got another one who wants to have a little acreage, build a nice home, have a few kids. I got a son who probably wants to have a lot of acreage so he can continue playing. Those are the type of things I see in Clay County. Those are the type of assets that you all have. And I want to continue working with the staff to continue growing that. So I thank you for the opportunity. And you're talking about a young man who's lived in this area his entire life, now has the opportunity to continue growing this area. So, and I look forward to it. I look forward to the opportunity. And it ain't coming quick enough, but it's gonna come pretty quick. So in these next few weeks, I'll work on that part and be ready to hit the ground June 23rd. So thank you all.
Thank you. With that, we will stand at ease for a few moments. When we come back, we will pick up where we left off, and that would be under discussion items. So we will stand at ease for a few moments.
I mentioned, I have two daughters. One is about to graduate from college, and the other one's after college. They both go to college together. They're not here, but in a few weeks they will be. Very soon.
We'll see. Whoever else you want.
I've been asked to bring you all
Creative solution. I'll do my best.
So commissioners, come on up here so we can, yeah. Or here, stand right here, right?
Okay.
Solutions.
I'll stand on my toes. Got it?
Awesome.
Great.
So Damon, I know at some point Garza.
All right. With that, we will come back from standing at ease. The next item on our agenda are discussion items. There is one item under discussion. Administrator, if you'd like to introduce that, I will then recognize Commissioner Lawson to begin that discussion.
Thank you. Yes, as the commission may recall, this item has come up a couple times in prior meetings about discussion of expanding the number of membership on the airport committee. And I believe Commissioner Lawson has requested that this item be on the agenda this evening.
Commissioner, please proceed.
Okay. I think we're real fortunate. We have a really great airport board. But I think that any time we're looking at really expanding things now, we want to see some growth out there. And I think that it's always good to have, if you will, fresh blood come in and kind of look at things maybe in a way that the existing board never has. I had a gentleman who has a good deal of, if the right term is, aeronautical background. And he was very excited about being on the board. However, there were no spots. And I just thought, you know, I would like to see us add another spot. Commissioner Nolte brought forward a really great point, and that was the fact that if you do just one, then it's an even number. Were there ever a vote, you know, you couldn't have that. You need that odd number at all time. So what I'd like to see is if we could possibly increase the airport board to 2 new people, and I'm sure people have an idea of someone that they would like to see on that board. I have someone. We can scrutinize that and increase it by 2, try to get some new thoughts there and some new experience to help us to freshen up that whole attitude of the airport, what it can do for the Clay County, how we can take it forward into the future years. So that's just my suggestion.
Okay. I would like to just add to the discussion that I did reach out to the chair of the Airport Advisory Board and he had no objections to this. There was no heartburn on his part. So there is no, as far as I can tell, I've heard of no objection, no dissent to making this move. Just for a quick historical point, way back in our history, well, not that far actually, we had a tremendously large, inappropriately large board at the Airport Advisory. That was, of course, winnowed down to a manageable number. I think adding 2 will keep it at that, in that manageable range. So that's, I think that has been the consensus of people that I've heard from on this issue. But I would like to hear what other commissioners have to say. Commissioner Carpenter, you are first up, please, or next up, go ahead.
Thanks. Just a quick question, actually, because I'm not sure what the answer is. So what I recall is our last appointment was Mr. Crosley, and he's still the chair of the board. He is the chair,
yes.
Okay. And at that time, my recollection is that we had 2 vacancies, and he was filling one of the vacancies, and I couldn't recall did we fill the second one subsequently? So there are no current vacancies.
There are no, and let me just verify, Administrator, we are currently have a full boat, do we not?
That is correct. There are no vacancies
Okay.
on the current airport board, which has a membership of 5.
Thank you. Yeah, just wanted to make sure, because I know, Commissioner Lawson, you have a specific person in mind that you'd love to see get on there. So just want to make sure that there wasn't already a slot available for him. I have no opposition to this, so we'd go from 5 to 7. That feels like a reasonable sized board to me, and so I would support the endeavor. Let's do it.
I think we can all agree 7 is a very nice number indeed. Commissioner Wagner.
I didn't think about that.
Thank you. So long as they don't have to spend a lot of money making the table bigger, I'll say that. But otherwise, I'll just say I'm pretty agnostic about it, going to 7, staying at 5, whatever. It sounds like there's some desire. I will just make the point that I think I've made before when we've talked about boards, and I think it's a point that our colleague brought up in her comments, is just simply you have to have a mix of institutional knowledge and new ideas, right? You have to be able to have that, otherwise it stagnates, or on the one hand, or it invites so many different points of view that you really can't bring reality into that conversation. So I'll just say, I certainly don't have any thoughts of who should join that, but I do think that to the extent that we see the infusion of new ideas with that institutional knowledge, and this is an advisory body after all, sometimes, although my wife may sometimes think I give too much advice, but I think in this particular case, having good advice and more of it available to you is a good thing, especially as we've talked about this facility. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Johnson.
Do we know how many applicants we currently have for the board?
No, I don't have that number in front of me.
I asked you, I think last week or a couple weeks ago, and you did have the answer.
I know.
I forgot myself.
I'm sorry, but I don't have it with me.
Okay.
I can look it up.
Okay, but we have enough applicants to fill both positions.
We do have applications in, yes.
Okay. And then, do we have any concern about keeping all 7 filled in the future? Have we ever had an issue filling those positions in the past?
If you're inquiring of me, because you were looking at me.
Yeah, well, I figured you'd know.
Yes, the thing about, there are some boards that are more easily filled than others. The airport board has really not been that difficult in that, and I think the proof of that is the number of applications that we have pending that have come in right now. So, and we have some, I think, some quite qualified individuals who are applying. So I think given that level of interest in this particular board, I think that it's not a big issue on this. My thought is also, because we are introducing, assuming we go forward with this, we are introducing new positions, I would like to make sure that if there are any additional people out there who would like to make application, I would like to go ahead and make sure that we are drawing from the deepest pool possible.
And then the process would be, you'd go through those applications, you would nominate 2.
Correct.
To fill those positions, and then this body would approve it.
Would deliberate, yes. And also, as always, in the process, as all commissioners know, names are circulated in advance before they come before this commission for a vote. Right. If anyone has a particular applicant that they would like to particularly recommend, obviously I am always anxious to hear what that opinion would be so that I can factor that in. And since I see our incoming administrator is here, that is one of the things that I lean upon Diana for right now, and that you would be involved with, and that is that I would discuss it with the administrator and say, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions. So that's kind of in a nutshell sort of the process. Like I say, some of the boards and commissions get extremely difficult to fill, and we've experienced some of those.
Yeah.
This is not one of those. Okay. I hope that I answered your question.
Answers my question. Thank you.
Commissioner Withington.
Yeah, so my question was kind of the same as Jay's. I know in the past we've had a lot of problems. We've had board seats that have sat vacant or had expired terms for several years. So I want to make sure if we are going to add seats, we don't add to that problem. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, right? It says the term expired 4 years ago, you know, so that was my biggest concern. And then point. Also, I know that you have somebody in mind that you would like to, but I know we've also had other people apply for this that seem to be also have an aviation background. Yep. So I want to make sure everybody gets fairly evaluated, you know, that we're not just picking somebody's friend or somebody that's politically connected or anything like that. Like I want everybody to have a fair opportunity. I know, Jackie, you've applied, you know, you sent us your application and stuff. So I want to make sure everybody's fully vetted.
I agree.
And then I have no problem adding 2 seats. If you want to add 2 seats, I'm on board with that. So.
By the way, because this is a rather unusual situation, we don't necessarily add seats to an existing board. My process as we go forward on this, assuming that this initiative passes, what I would want to do would be to sit down and review all of any that would be coming in new and all the existing ones, and just essentially restart the evaluation process in terms of giving everybody an even amount of attention and consideration before I would then go through the process of eventually making recommendations to this body.
I agree. No, I agree wholeheartedly, and the individual who I had wanted to bring forward was someone who has put the application in some time back and just never had a chance, because the individuals that are on the board and have continued to serve, which we sincerely appreciate their time and their efforts, it's kind of been everybody just wants to do it again and again and again, and we don't have that opportunity to get that new blood in there. One of the things too that I'll mention briefly is with all of our boards, you know, these people give of their time for no money, and they give up evenings with their families or whatever else they'd like to be doing instead of sitting there talking about whatever board they serve on. I really think we ought to give them the opportunity, maybe once a quarter or every 6 months or something, to come in and say, these are the things we've worked on out there at the board, and these are the things we see that might be able to be improved. But if they're an advisory board, let them do some advising, you know? So I just would like for us to consider that for future, that we start having those boards come in if they want to, and giving us some kind of a report.
One of the things you'd mentioned, the time that they give, they bring not only their time, but their expertise in their given areas. As commissioners know, we had, what was it, about a week and a half ago, we had a gentleman in from the AG's office to give a presentation on Sunshine Law and how it applies. And we made a particular point of inviting those board and commission members, and I think you were here and you saw that it was a good crowd. Yeah. First off, it is good for them to have that information, because they do have you know, they are under Sunshine Law regulations. Yeah. But secondarily, what struck me and I mentioned it before, and what still strikes me is these are individuals who have busy lives. They came to that meeting and took yet another time, another evening away from their families or whatever other pursuits that they had going, to spend the time to absorb that information and to understand their responsibilities more fully. And so, yeah, I think that we all absolutely appreciate their diligence and their help to this county. I think what we're going to be looking for is consensus for the administrator to go forward, craft a proper resolution or ordinance, whichever the case may be, and present it to the commission. Administrator?
That's correct. We just need consensus, and we'll come back to the commission. It will be an ordinance because we will be amending the municipal code book.
So with that, are there any other comments? And if not, do we have consensus to instruct staff to go forward? Okay, may see head shakes all the way around, so it looks like we have an ordinance in our future.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes our discussion item. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, if you would, I'm sorry, of course, if you'd like to come forward, please, again, name and then give us your thoughts.
Okay. Jackie Thorstensen, I'm the AOPA Volunteer Airport Support Network representative for Midwest National Air Center. And I want to say it's always a privilege to come and speak before each of you. I'm here to share information, ask questions in collaboration with as much transparency as possible. But first of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association because I'm not sure that very many of us are familiar with the organization that I'm associated with as the Airport Support Network representative for Midwest National Air Center. Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association is a nonprofit political organization based in Frederick, Maryland, and with offices in Washington, D.C. AOPA advocates for general aviation and exists to serve the interest of our members that are your tenants, pilot constituents at Midwest National Air Center and throughout Clay County. And, you know, it's not the only airport we have in the county. We have Roosterville with pilots located there, Excelsior Springs, and the downtown airport, although it's managed by Kansas City. But we have plenty of pilots in the region, the nearby international airport. AOPA was formed in 1939, and we are a worldwide organization with a membership of over 300,000 that includes not only private GA pilots, but also airline and corporate pilots. And while some pilots fly for pleasure, others fly to further business goals and stimulate the economy, and I think that's what we're looking for at Midwest National Air Center. The AOPA team exists to protect and grow the incredible privilege that is general aviation. And we work through educating the public about fun and the utility that aircraft can provide, preparing resources and training materials to enhance the skills of pilots everywhere, or advocating for aviation within the government agencies, somewhat of what I try to be a part of. It is our job to maintain the strength and vitality of the flying community. The mission of AOPA is to ensure that the sky remains within reach of everyone who dreams of becoming a pilot. I invite Clay County to be a part of this mission with us. While most of us that are able to come and speak on behalf of GA and the airport, we are older and in our silver years, but there are many young people who use the airport who are our future. And for the most part, they are busy working on their educations, navigating life, holding down jobs, and climbing ladders. So it's my generation that works on their behalf until they are older and retired and can come speak for themselves in the next generation. A little bit about myself. I accepted the ASN, the Airport Support Network representative position for AOPA 3 years ago in 2022. At that time, I addressed the commission in a campaign to hire the most knowledgeable person in the county concerning the airport manager position. That person was the interim airport manager, and the campaign was supported by at least 23 letters of recommendation, which also brought me to speak before you in public comments. For whatever reason, that qualified applicant was passed over. Benjamin West was chosen, and after a few months, he was released or resigned. And while we hoped the most qualified person would once again be considered, the applicant was once again denied. At this point, an option had been done and an option had been chosen that had failed in the past, but it was proposed once again, and it was to do an RFP for an FBO, which is at fixed-base operator to not only provide services to aircraft, but to manage the airport as well. It was at that time that I came before you in public comments a second time, and my closing words were airport manager first, FBO second. I said that because I had looked at fuel sales, knew the pulse of the airport, and felt that there was not enough revenue or pie at the airport to support a profit-driven entity. It's a very fine line to manage for a profit-driven business and maintain the interest of the county. In fact, I will say it is so fine that I will challenge you that it's a conflict of interest. The county needs an airport manager with aviation experience first. Then the county has oversight with a professional whose only job is to manage the airport. This leaves the FBO to manage its business. The current FBO is not a member of...
Excuse me for a moment. Did you have a question, Commissioner?
sure.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but if there was a question or a
okay.
point that you were at...
A statement or?
Go right
or
ahead.
a
I'm sorry.
comment?
I've recognized you now, so you're ready to go.
So you always bring up sunshine law. This sounds like this is very far off from what the discussion title was, so maybe we should notice this back up and have a future discussion, because this has nothing to do with what we have noticed up on. I just want to make sure we're not violating sunshine law.
We are not. It is not possible for a citizen to violate sunshine law. That is made for elected
But the
officials.
discussion topic clearly says expansion of airport committee membership. This sounds like this could have been handled in public comments.
It could have, yes.
Yeah, so this is way off from the discussion.
Let me go ahead and
so-
get council's opinion. Council, what do you say as far as the I'm inclined to give more latitude to citizens commenting, but what is your call?
Well, the noticed up discussion topic is for expansion of the airport advisory committee. Generally speaking, conversations should be limited to that. Obviously among yourselves, you know, if a member of the public wants to talk about something off topic, typically I would expect the chair to try to limit it to the topic at hand, because right now the public is not aware of a substantive discussion about the larger airport issues.
Right. If my tripwire on this is if we began interacting on that subject. But I would, I take your point, and so if you could please focus your comments on the discussion item at hand. Thank you, Commissioner Withington, for your observation.
Yeah, I'm not trying to cut her off. I just wanted to, I just want to make sure we're following the sunshine law that you're always talking about and everything, and I don't want anybody to get in trouble, so.
Your observations are appreciated, as always. With that, if you could please keep the scope of your discussion to the subject.
What I was trying to do was lay some groundwork that, as I began my began speaking, was collaboration and transparency as the most important issue, I believe. And right now, the airport's under a Part 13 investigation with the FAA, and that has not been collaborated to the Airport Advisory Board. And my question is, why are we expanding the Airport Advisory Board if we're not using them with the expertise that they can bring to situations like this? And again, has there been complete collaboration, transparency with the commissioners on that issue, on the Airport Advisory Board? And I had a list of others.
But please go ahead and I do take Commissioner Withington's point to stay focused on the expansion of, and obviously you're welcome at any time to come up during public comments and give us your opinions on this or any other subject.
Okay. So I guess in closing, it's just I'm asking that there be full transparency and collaboration between all stakeholders at the airport, that there's nothing in the dark or negative issues that hoping that they'll just go away. We must all deal with everything from the snow removal to investigations, and listening to all, not necessarily in that order, and use the Airport Advisory Board, that they meet quarterly and that we use them and collaborate with them. So any questions, I'll be happy to take.
Thank you. We have our consensus. Is there any further comment from the commission? Seeing none. In that case, we will close the discussion. And that brings us to county administrator comments.
Yes, just that the next meeting of the commission is next Thursday, May 1st at 6 o'clock here in the chambers.
Thank you. Commissioner Withington, if you'd like to start. Commissioner Lawson?
A little quick something.
I'm sorry, I should have introduced this as commissioner comments, so please proceed.
Oh, okay. Or commissioner comment. The Tuesday night, Kip, our planning and zoning guy, had a really nice meeting set up. And, when we started the comprehensive plan, good gravy. It was ridiculous. We had people fighting for it and people fighting against it, and we hadn't given everybody enough of a chance to look at it, and all kinds of stuff. It got ridiculous after a while. Anyway, so Tuesday night, after he gets it all finalized and everything's good, he's going to make his, final answer, ask any question you want, and here's the final look at it, and just a really nice setup he had all ready. No cookies, no coffee, but it was an informative meeting. So I show up all dressed up, ready to shake hands and kiss babies, and he and I, his second in command, and two guys show up. Just two guys, nice gentlemen, and they've been involved in all of the discussions and things. And I thought, if anybody comes before this commission and starts talking about a negative about that comprehensive plan, I'm going to have to take them on all by myself, because it was so upsetting that we had this set up for them to come and make their comments and see the final see-through of it, and two guys showed up. So a good thank you to Kip for setting it all up, but it was kind of a waste of his time for sure.
Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. I think the message for Damon is, if you want people to show up for meetings, bring some coffee and cookies. Make that note. But I will say, sometimes people don't show up because everyone's had their chance. And so I think sometimes that if they don't show up, we've done our job pretty darn well. Because people like to show up when things are bad. When they're good, for some reason, they got something else to do. And maybe that's just the way of life. But so I draw that conclusion. And I'll be right there with you. If anyone comes, I will push you into the, no, I'm kidding. I'll be with you, shoulder to shoulder with you. But it does speak to what I neglected to say before in my haste to tell you old stories about my time with Damon. We have a great staff here. Kip's proved that, and so has Diana. And I have a feeling, although he hasn't said, part of the reason why this job was attractive was because of the work that our staff does. And that's everyone at that table right there with Diana and Kevin, and that's everyone over there. The work that they have done has been extraordinary to move us where we are today, and I think that is a testament to the type of candidates that we received and by the selection we have made. And so, Damon, don't screw that up. And I know we'll have another opportunity in a couple of months to bring on even more kudos and plaudits, but might as well start now. You did a great job. You've done a great job, and that's why we have what we have here today. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Thompson, Commissioner Carpenter. I'm just going to make one comment. First off, sterling advice, don't screw it up. It speaks to your years of government service and your eloquence.
Yeah, there's more where that came from.
Oh my God, really, more? Tomorrow, there's going to be, and this is related to the boards and commissions, our DDRB, which is our Developmental Disabilities Board, has been working with Life Unlimited, and tomorrow there will be a groundbreaking on a project called The Trails over at the Bent Oaks neighborhood, adjacent to that. And what they're going to be doing is building some housing for people with developmental disabilities so they can have a degree of independent living and yet still have the support structures that are important for them to have to be able to function the way they can to their highest level. Once again, I've got to give a shout out to Steve, our chair over DDRB, and its members. They have done a great job in working in conjunction, and that is, I think that is one of the things that we can point to and say, good job on our boards and commissions. I think they're going to be, let's see, they're going to be doing up to 120 individuals, so that is a substantial number, and these are people that we need to make sure that we are responsive to their needs. With that, before it gets dark or rainy, we are adjourned.